and issue a press release about this legislation that never got introduced?
He did issue a press release, or a sham press release, for the undercover agents. I don't believe it was released to the public press. I think it was a ruse as part of the undercover effort. But a press release on office letterhead was provided to the undercover officers, or agents, I should say. And on the second point, I don't know that I can say, I don't think I can answer that now.
So when you say it was released to you, or the undercover agents, does that mean it was you? We do infer that the FBI agency requested. Can you show us a press release? What are you thinking about sending out to the press, and something that you asked him to like run by you before it went out? That kind of a arrangement.
I think the question you're asking is, did the FBI undercover agents receive a copy of a proposed press release? Mm-hmm. That would be correct.
Agent Hanko, two questions. First of all, as it relates to the trips, when did he take those trips? He actually went on the trips, and when did he take them? And then the second question would be, how, if at all, does this implicate the legislative black caucus?
Well, first of all, talking about the specifics of the dates on the trips, I'll leave that for a later discussion, a later press conference. Suffice it to say that the trips were taken and that they were paid for by the undercover agents and not claimed by Mr. Weddington. And secondly, your second question, these investigations, we don't predicate on, or we don't look at the race, the color, the nationality of any of the individuals. We look at, are there criminal acts that may have taken place, and can we get to the bottom of it? I don't think the indictment of a single member of the legislature will have a chilling effect on any of the caucuses.
I understand that. That's the name of the caucus, though, and it's been in the news, if you've read, where it's essentially been, there have been various allegations that he, as representing the legislative black caucus, was involved in other pay-to-play types of situations, maybe not under the elements of the law for bribery or corruption, at least those that have been reported, but pretty close. That's why I'm asking, does this implicate, or is there a possibility that this would implicate that caucus or any other members of that caucus?
Well, I wouldn't address or speculate on any allegations that is not currently under our purview.
Mr. O'Brien?
No, I might add, Mr. Aker, that I could tell you that the trips would have occurred within a reporting period that he should have disclosed on February 6th and didn't. So that would mean they occurred in calendar year 2011.
Were the trips vacations, or presented as vacations? Did he travel alone? Did he travel with anyone else? I mean, was there any business that was conducted in any way on the trips?
Business to the extent of the business that Agent Hanko described, I think, was part of it.
You said that he cooperated, so these were the only issues that were indicted. Might there be future indictments, or is this all we're going to see?
With respect to Mr. Weddington?
Yes, sir.
At the present time, he has this 3-count indictment. I have in this folder behind me an indictment that reads differently than the one that you have, and that is always the case in these kind of instances. So at the present time, he's facing these 3 counts, and he's facing these 3 counts because he has cooperated to date with the FBI and has promised to cooperate in the future. And if he fulfills those promises, these would be the only indictment that he would face.
Did the FBI investigate these past allegations of wrongdoing that surfaced around the payday loan era? Or did you investigate those that involved real entities, not undercover agents of the FBI.
Your question now is stemming on, prior to this, and I will tell you that we utilized information obtained during that period to go forward with this investigation. Something that's real time and something that we believed we could bring to fruition with an indictment.
But you found no wrongdoing in those past instances? Or in other words, you mentioned that there were some things that you could have charged him with, but because he's been cooperative, you did not. Are some of those things that you could have charged him with involved with non-sting, real people and real entities from the past?
I think the answer is yes.
Can you tell us any more about
No, I don't think so. I don't think I want to get into any other details other than what he's charged with, and at least among the people that Mr. Weddington will be asked to cooperate with, as we enter into a cooperation agreement with the government, it's any and all agencies who may have jurisdiction, and among the people we would ask him to answer any questions from is the Legislative Inspector General, and I think things particularly within his purview, Mr. Weddington would be compelled to provide and cooperate, and I'm sure he may have some questions in the arenas you're asking about.
So you're still investigating? This investigation could touch others who he has promised to cooperate to answer questions. There could be others indicted down the road as a result of your investigation of him.
It's an ongoing investigation. I don't want to speak for the FBI, but I understand they're not done here today. When they leave this press conference, I understand they're going to continue the investigation based on the cooperation of Mr. Weddington, as well as any other information that may come to him as a result of this public knowledge of his charge. As you know, frequently people may come forward when they see someone charged in this kind of circumstance, and should that happen, that would be followed up as well.
That is, it's basically a common procedure for us. When we have someone who cooperates, we ask a full spectrum of questions. What can you do? What do you know? And then the investigation then may take on a different direction or a different subject, so to say. But that's in all FBI investigations, whether public corruption, drug, white-collar crime.
As much as you can, I know that the bill numbers, I got that part of the question, but what was the type of legislation? I'm sorry if I missed this. What were the agents trying to have effected?
Again, I don't want to address the specific business entity which we discussed and that Mr. Weddington was willing to co-sponsor or sponsor legislation. I'll just leave that for now.
When you say he's
the first, you were ready with the bribery charge prior to these February filings. Did you then wait for the February filings to see if he was honest about what he had accepted?
There was a reason to wait until he did file his ethics disclosure forms and that. So we did wait for that for the subsequent, the third charge, the misdemeanor charge.
When you say he cooperated, can you describe, what does that mean when he's being cooperative?
Well, cooperation runs a whole gamut from admitting to what you did wrong to then telling about other things you may have done or other individuals that you know. So it's a very large spectrum when you say cooperate. So when we use that term, that's very general. He's cooperating.
Would you say he's being quite cooperative or limited in his cooperation right now?
I would say time would tell.
Okay.
You're negotiating, Mr. O'Brien, it says a final agreement with him and Sam Szymanski. Would that mean we can interpret that to mean there's a plea deal in the works?
As you know, a plea deal isn't a plea deal until it's consummated in open court in front of the judge. As people who cooperate eventually, more often than not, enter into a plea agreement. some of you may have been present when I announced the indictment of Mr. Sleester, who is also cooperating, and he's yet to be sentenced, at least in federal court, here almost a year later. He has pled and got a sentence in state court, but that was pulling teeth, as you found out through the process. So you can have someone who surrenders, cooperates, but the process becomes not as easy as you are hoping at the time it occurs. So I hesitate to say anything other than he's currently cooperating, and the extent of that cooperation, as Mr. Hanko said, will be told by the weeks and months ahead.
Whenever we have a case where it's